Welcome back to creating a 2D platformer in libGDX. And today what we're going to do is we're going to continue where we left off, and we are going to have our character jump and then stop when he hits the bottom of our screen. So we're going to have a few things that are going to help us do this. The first is we need to create a brand new method, and we're going to call this jump. So we're going to do public void jump, and it's not going to include anything in there. So what jump will do, we're going to set our velocity y equal to, let's do 30. Coming back up here, we do need to initialize velocity at 0. So once we have that, whenever we update our screen, we want to subtract from velocity so that the velocity keeps on going down. So he's always accelerating. This simulates gravity. And we also want to add the velocity to the y position of both our hitbox and our sprite. So the way we're going to be doing this is we're going to come over here to our update method, and we are going to have it say, first we're going to change our velocity. So we're going to do velocity y minus equals, and we're going to be subtracting 50, where our acceleration is going to be 50 pixels per second. So we're going to multiply that by delta, or delta time, just like what we did previously. And then we are going to take the bottom y, and we're going to add velocity y to it. Because we ended up doing that, we need to set the position, so we're going to do set position. And actually, we can just change it in sprite. So we're going to do sprite.setPosition, and we're going to do bottom.x and bottom.y to set the position. So this is the update. So when when our character is falling, he will always be falling in this particular example. And so this is our first update to the cool guy object. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is going into the game and actually implementing this. So the first thing is we need to update our cool guy, and we're only going to update one of them, and that's going to be player1 dot update. And the same thing that we did for keys pressed, we're going to need to get the delta time. So it's gdx.graphics.get delta time. So there's our update. We're always going to be updating our character. Then if gdx.input.isKeyPressed input.keys dot, and hopefully we have a space, there's space, and if we press space, we're going to do player1 dot jump. So when we do this, we hit there, so he falls off. If I hold down spacebar, he'll come up a little bit, and then he'll fall down. So let's see if I can get him to stay on the screen. There we go. We got him bouncing now. So it looks like he's kind of jumping. I probably want to play around with the values a little bit. And I can actually think I can still move him left or right. Come back up, please. There he goes. So maybe my values are a little bit strong. So let's go ahead and change a few of those just so we can see what it's like. So for this one, let's lower this to 20, and let's change how he goes down to maybe 30 and see what he looks like now. There we go. We can keep him on the screen a little bit easier now. I'm hitting spacebar every single time he hits the bottom. So that's the way that works. Now what we do want is for our character, whenever he hits the bottom of the screen, and just to stop. And that is pretty easy. And then we go into a little into collision, but we're going to do a simplified version of it before that particular lesson happens. So we're going to close that out. I come over here, and in the code I've already given you guys, if it overlaps a rectangle, we return a 1. And what we're going to come over here into action, and action is going to be the action that we need to take if we get a certain type that gets returned. So what we're going to do here is if type equals 1, we are going to set position, and actually I'm going to change this a little bit to take in two floats, an x and a y. Set position x, y. Okay. When this happens, we're just moving the character around, and it will actually use our set position that we used earlier down here. Now, how do we get this to work? Okay, so we're going to come over here to the game, and we are going to check to see if we hit anything. But before we do that, we need to create a rectangle. So we're going to do a rectangle, and we are going to call this rectangle temp, and we're eventually going to get rid of this rectangle, so it's not that important to keep it, but it's just something that you guys probably should have. So after the update, if we're going to do a new rectangle, and we're going to do it by 0. 0 is the starting point, and it's going to go to 800, which is our entire width of our screen, 10. So it only goes 10 pixels up. And we're going to right click on it, and we are going to which type of rectangle did I take and did I create over here? I just need to double check that real quick. Okay, I did use theirs. Just be careful when you're putting in rectangles. You need to make sure that you use BadLogic's rectangle class and not Java's. So because they don't mesh very well. So what we're going to do is if we can just do if player1 dot hits temp, then we are going to do player1 dot action, and it's action number 1, and we want to set the value to 10. And that's not right. Player1 dot hits. There it goes. Why does that not work? Oh, does not equal -1, because -1 is our not hit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a 0 in this one. So let's see how this works. There's a big mistake here. It's a design flaw that I didn't encounter. I'll show you guys how to change it in just a second. So we're going to go to main. We're going to run this. And you see how he kind of snaps over to the side. We don't want him to do that. So let's go back in here. Okay, we're going to go back, change that to 0, and that one's going to be 10. So we're going to save that. Now, going back in here in an update, our set position, we don't want to stop the X in this particular type. We actually want him to, whatever X he is currently at, we're good with that. And right now we don't have a way of determining where those things are. We just know we intersected at the bottom, and we need to move the character up. So the way we're going to deal with this is we're just going to put bottom.x in here, because that means we're taking the current x value and passing that in, and then we're just giving it a new y value. So we're going to save that, and we're going to run it, and now he stops. I can jump, I can jump again, and so on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make this jump a little bit better and smoother as time goes on, but hopefully you guys can get something moving, something that resembles a game very, very soon. So thank you guys for watching. I will be posting more up soon, and I will find out why my little guy just disappeared just there.